bit of that. You know, again, not the biggest fan of Nemesis Immortals now that I've got to watch it in action. That doesn't mean the card's bad. It just seems like, you know, 4 might just seem like a very high number of that card.
That struck me as the type of card where, because it fits into the strategy, it's very natural to assume that you're supposed to play 4 copies, and it's one of the most splashy cards. When it's working and when it's powerful, it feels like it's the best thing that's going on in the deck. But I do feel like for the functionality that you want, you can get away with playing with fewer than 4 copies.
Take a look at our standings here. Jeff Hugen sitting in 2nd place, Andrew Sendum in 3rd. Muster's in 5th. Wow, we have some insane names here. Mike Bellafato, who has won a Standard Open when we were in Columbus 2 years ago. Also has a Grand Prix top 8 to his name. He's sitting in 6th place right now. Rill is in 8th. Abner, who we have on the right side, is on 9th place. Bowman's in 10th. Braun DeWin is in 11th. So there is the opportunity for some crazy stuff to happen here, actually.
Yeah, it does appear from where I'm sitting that there is the possibility for all the X1s and better to just draw, and it's 8th place right now that it goes down to. But those people risk getting leapfrogged by Mike, who's on camera right now, in the event that Mike wins.
Yeah.
So there may be, for example, Matthew McCullough and Eric Rill may decide to play their match instead of drawing, and if that happens, then it opens up all sorts of chaos.
Oh, wow, I missed that, actually. 7th place is Matt McCullough, who, if that's the Matt McCullough that I'm thinking of, is Ari Lax's teammate that got 2nd place in the team Grand Prix in Providence.
Okay.
So he's from the Michigan area, which is obviously close to this area. Again, if that's the Matt McCullough I'm thinking of, obviously people can have the same name. That makes the top 8 even more insane. Jeez. Okay, then. I like where this is going. Either way, we're going to watch these guys do some battling here. Elvish Mystic to start things off. Pretty nice set of elimination rounds in front of us here, it looks like.
Yeah, and it looked like midway through the tournament, maybe a little bit later, we could potentially be looking at the best Standard Open top 8 in a really long time, just on name recognition. Certainly this one's still going to be good, but been a lot of deep runs today by some of our most marquee players.
Grizzly Salvage here is going to turn over 2 Forest, a Whip of Erebos, a Grizzly Salvage, and a Herald of Torment. Forest is going to come into play. This is an Elvish Mystic, so got a nice start here for Bowman.
Plenty of mana. The risk here, of course, is that Supreme Verdict is quite good against these kind of draws.
Just an island from Abner before passing the turn back. See what Bowman has to do on his 3rd turn here. Does have plenty of mana, as you did mention. There's a Night Howler in his hand as well. 3, 5. This is a Nemesis. Couldn't get syncopated for 1 here. You see Abner's going to take a look at the graveyard.
Yeah, just the 1 creature, so only a slight discount.
The syncopate for 1's actually pretty backbreaking. Not only does it counter it, but it exiles it too. So not a creature in the graveyard. Abner going to take a draw here. Supreme Verdict rolls off the top of the deck. Pretty nice.
And already armed with Dissolve, too.
Yeah.
So
pretty good curve of Dissolve. Something that may be problematic into Supreme Verdict your creatures. This is a commune with the gods. See, Abner going to take a look at that. There's a chance he may want to counter it, but it's going to be good to go. Sylvan Caryatid, a Night Howler, a Temple, another copy of Night Howler, and a Lotless Troll. You see Abner having to read a lot of this card. It's probably not unfamiliar territory for Bowman.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird cards that appear basically only in this style of deck that appear in Black-Green Dredge.
Abner going to take Lotless Troll to the grip. This may just be a simple attack for 1. That looks to be the case. Bowman going to follow this up with a Sylvan Caryatid before passing the turn back. But Verdict is still good right now.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Verdict is still very good right now.
Verdict is still perfect value. You're killing a bunch of mana creatures, but that's cool.
Not necessarily that Adam can't recover from this. He certainly has the tools to do so, but...
And he's going to start by just playing a Lotless Troll before passing the turn back.
The fact that all this has happened and Mike still is armed with Dissolve is really bad for Adam, however.
Yeah, Essence Scatter now, too.
And Elspeth. I mean, he's got all the pieces.
How's Elspeth just always in people's hand?
What do they play?
Blue-White just always has Elspeth. They have like 1 or 2.
2 sometimes.
It's just like, oh, God, he might play Elspeth on turn 6. Just every game. It seems to happen without fail.
I play one Elspeth because I want to have it on turn 6 90% of the time. If you want to have it 100% of the time, you add the second one.
Yeah.
But that's basically the decision.
If they played 4, they'd never draw one. See an attack there with a lot of troll, followed up with Deathrite Shaman. The bad thing here for Bowman, he's trying to pace the game in a certain way right now. And this pacing leads you to, play a certain way, and it's like, okay, I can pace the game this way if my opponent has Elspeth, but they always have Elspeth.
It is alarming the frequency with which they have it.
Yeah, sure, drop the Planeswalker. That's going to come into play. And now, the thing too is, like, because when you're playing it split, you're trying to pace the game in a certain way to, like, bob and weave past their threats, and then Elspeth is just like, I'm going to kill you now. And so now it forces their hand, which is exactly what blue-white wants to have happen. So it forces their hand to get their stuff sphered and countered and verdicted away. It's crazy.
I rarely play around anything against blue-white because it's just, what's even the point? There's too much stuff to try to play around.
Yeah. Here's a Night Howler on the Lotless Troll. That thing is going to make stuff pretty big. In we go.
This is not a bad recovery. So that's at least a start for Adam.
+8/+8 there on the Night Howler. Pretty sweet turn.
Now this is a bit of a squeeze now that Adam's in, because if he casts Supreme Verdict, then there's an uncontested Night Howler in play. And Adam's hand is just Supreme Verdicts and Dissolves right now.
So what you're saying is Night Howler is awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
This combination of cards has been totally awesome every time that I've seen it. Also, all the lists I've seen today play 3 Lotla Trolls.
Yeah.
So
put a 4th one in your deck.
Put a 4th one
if you're playing this deck. I think you have to.
You won't be mad. I'm gonna promise you're not gonna be mad.
Night Howler left behind because Lotla Troll went to the grave. It's got to be a 9/9 now. So smash you. If there's an Azorius Charm or a Flare hanging around, that's life.
Yep.
I think you still have to attack. Followed up with I think this is a follow-up with a Gerard, which is basically providing lethal at this point. Is this a Bestow Night Howler post-combat?
That is curious.
Bit strange, yeah. I wonder what the reasoning for that is. I'm trying to think of something he could play around or be scared of.
I mean, the big card is Detention Sphere here, but he's still playing into it.
Yeah.
Well, what are you worried about there? Another Negate or an Essence guy?
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know.
Either way, presenting lethal right now. I'm sure there's a reason for that play,
yes.
But
it did seem needlessly fancy to me on the surface.
Sure. You see 2 Dissolves. The hand is 2 Dissolves, a Revelation, and X, and none of those things get the job done against this 100/100 Night Howler.
Yeah. He can rep for 1 looking for Azorius Charm.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the line.
It's gotten bleak. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not bleak here.
And just pass the turn back. Bowman gonna untap and take a draw. Draws a Forest. Gonna play that Forest. Yeah, I'm with you. It's just Team Night Howler getting in the red zone. He can't not attack.
Yeah, his last card in hand left is Gerard here, so. Yeah, I'm curious to see if he wants to play it here first.
Yeah. I'm fine with playing this pre-combat.
What does playing it pre-combat do?
It stops, like, if your opponent considers countering it, like dissolving it, then it stops the Revelation for 1, try to find a Azorius Charm.
But it's still full information. Why not just let him do that and then play Gerard post-combat?
Sure. I'm not saying that playing Gerard pre-combat is correct.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there's a rationale behind it. This is the ref for 1 play that you did mention. Needs Azorius Charm or Celestial Flare to not die.
Yeah, we're not even out of the woods. We're just not dead.
Yeah. Mystery card, Island. Not you. Night Howlers take it down. Adam Bowman does win game number 1 here over Mike Abner. Black-green Dredge up a game over blue-white Control. Move to the sideboards really quickly here. Again, Abner playing a deck list that's pretty similar to Adrian Sullivan's. Doesn't have as many wild one-ofs in the sideboard. 3 copies of Nyx Fleece Ram, a Deicide, a Pithy Needle, 2 Negates, 2 Last Breath, 2 Gainsay, 2 Dispel, a Debtor's Pulpit, and a Jace Memory Adept. Unsurprisingly, you're not going to find a lot of cards here that are very good against the Dredge strategy. That being said, a card I actually do like in this matchup is Debtor's Pulpit. I'm a fan of that. I do like Deicide as well. Pithy Needle, we mentioned this last time. I think it's still good here against these Dredge decks. Being able to take care of the regeneration on a Lotless Troll is step one. You can also take care of a Deathrite Shaman as well, Farika too. So I like that card. Gerard as well, pretty good against this deck. I don't really care for a card like Nyx Fleece Ram because the creatures are so big from the Dredge deck that it's not going to matter.
Yeah, this is not a nickel and dime sort of game. If Adam's going to kill you, it's probably going to be with some enormous attackers and things that 0/5s are not going to be able to profitably block. On the other side, Adam has 3 Golgari Charms, 2 Rot Farm Skeletons, a Farika, a Gerard, each of which he has 1 in his main deck. Scavenging Ooze, Whip of Erebos, 3 Slum Reaper, a Herald of Torment, and 2 copies of Shadowborn Demon. We saw in the last game, or the last match rather, when Adam was playing against Blue-White Control, he went to the Golgari Charms to fight over Supreme Verdict and to fight over Banishing Light and Detention Sphere, and then had 2 copies of Rot Farm Skeleton, which are good in slow attrition games, especially alongside Gerard, which he's bringing another copy of. And he did bring in the second Farika as well, trying to play, again, trying to fight through an attrition game, although I think Farika is pretty poor in the matchup overall. Very slow, and the tokens are not good against Jace.
Yeah. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I have to agree with you on Farika. It just does not seem very good in this particular matchup.
I think there's plenty of matchups where Farika is good, don't get me wrong, but I think that a lot of people overestimate constant sources of 1/1 tokens against Blue-White Control when Jace and Supreme Verdict and Elspeth are so good against those types of cards.
Being told right now, Ari Lax will let me know that Matt McCullough, the actual Matt McCullough, is not the Matt McCullough that we're thinking of. Different Matt McCullough from Ohio has come down and looks like he'll be playing the elimination rounds, but not Grand Prix finalist, and one good friend of Ari Lax. They're actually currently testing for Block, the Pro Tour.
We've been confused by similar names before.
There has been another Mike Flores before.
Yeah, I was about to mention that at Grand Prix Miami. Yeah. It's like round 1, Mike Flores. Like, wow, Mike flew down from New York? That's crazy.
Nope. Hi, not you.
Just a different Mike Flores.
Yeah.
Not that that's inconceivable. Mike Flores, I'm sure, is not the most uncommon of names, but still.
Game 2 underway shortly here. Round 10 at 10. This tournament's flying by, man.
Yeah. What time?
It is flying by. 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah. 8:30, just easy breezy, beautiful.
Are we going to get back into the room in time for the Clippers Warriors tip?
Like the first quarter of the game?
Yeah.
There's a chance that might happen. That would be the luckiest thing in the world.
Yeah. I have a feeling the room that we're in is kind of weird. It's there's a bed and there's a pull-out couch and it's separated by a door. This is not usually the kind of rooming accommodations we have, but this might be nice in the instance of the Warriors-Clippers game, as if one of us gets too mad, we can simply shut the door and lock the other person out of watching the game with them.
Well, there's almost a lock that one of us is going to get too mad, as both teams cannot win.
Right.
So that door will be shut violently at some point.
Yeah.
The question is, will it be early or late in the evening?
I'm hoping early. If we stay up until 1 in the morning and then one of us is just too tilted off to do the coverage tomorrow, it's better for someone to be down 25 at the half and we can just let the game go.
That's true. That's true. You do make a very good point. We'll have Mike Abner here on the play for game number 2. Blue-White Control versus Black-Green Dredge. Dredge sure didn't look good there. But again, the recurring theme with Dredge is that Night Howler is just really good.
It's really good. That looked like a game where Mike, we were actually kind of, and kidding around a little bit. Like, Mike's got such a commanding position. Here's Elspeth again. What a good draw he had. There's another Supreme Bird, et cetera, et cetera. But the mixture of Lotless Troll and Night Howler is so good.
Yeah.
It killed Elspeth and then killed Mike.
Yeah. Get a 4th Lotless Troll.
Yeah.
Now, everyone playing Dredge, get a 4th Lotless Troll. That combination is too good.
Yeah.
You'll find the other pieces around it, obviously, but that combination is too good. With or without regeneration. We've got to find some ways for Night Howler itself to trample. What do we got to do?
I'm sure that inside of green we can find any number of trample effects if we're in the market for that. We could also hope that R&D reprints Brawn. I mean, talk about perfect for this deck. Brawn would be where it's at.
Would there be any reason for them to do that? I don't care. Do it anyway.
No, there's no chance. But just saying, Brawn would be sweet in this deck.
You're dating yourself a little bit with Braun.
Well, Braun is sweet.
Not many people know what Braun is. Looks like a one-lander here for Bowman.
It was the weakest of that cycle of 7.
Isn't Filth worse?
No, Filth in mono black mirrors is really powerful. Braun's never been good once.
How could you? Elvis Mystic could have come into play. Not once.
Maybe once. I don't know.
It's like a picture of a warthog, I think.
Yeah, he's got covered in moss.
We do have ourselves a Seder Wayfinder.
And that was awesome for Adam because I don't think he had another land in his hand.
I don't think so either. And now he gets to scry and potentially find another one. Oh, look at that thing. Thing is appropriate because it's an incarnation.
Yeah.
Which is a really just great creature type.
Yeah. Appropriately vague.
It could be, that could be anything covered in moss. Because here's a divination from Abner. Yeah, now Bowman's actually got the show working. After having to looks like he had to keep a one-lander here. It might be casting Grizzly Salvage or Commune with the Gods now. Yeah, start looks like by attacking with the Seder Wayfinder. Follow this up with the Grizzly Salvage. So let's take a look at 5 cards, shall we? Swamp, Grizzly Salvage, Night Howler, Swamp, and Lotleth Troll. Arguably the 2 best cards in this deck.
I don't think there's any argument, at least not for me. It's hard because how do you rate Grizzly Salvage and Commune with the Gods? They are the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah.
So they're really important too, but in terms of the spells, yeah, they seem like the best 2 to me.
Another copy of Seder Wayfinder. Gonna turn over a Seder Wayfinder, a Commune with the Gods, a couple of lands. Put those in the hand.
Someone's looking for the old Rot Farm skeleton, I think.
Yeah. Ooh, there's Nylea.
Okay.
And Gift Stuff Trample.
Oh, sure. It's really slow, though.
Yeah, it is.
And Braun you can mill over. That's why Braun would be the sweetest.
Are we going to play Name That Incarnation later?
I mean, that's up to you.
That game's not very hard, but I might want to play.
The answer is Braun.
Yeah. For a lifetime supply of premium, what is the green incarnation?
Well, there's 2 of them.
We know which green incarnation it is. Nemesis Immortal is going to come in here. That's going to get countered by Dissolve. Take a look at the scry here for Abner. He's going to leave that card on top. Now here's a Temple.
And don't underestimate what these incremental points of damage do for Adam in this game. He does have Whip of Erebos in hand, and he could potentially set this game up to a spot where Whip just getting back Nemesis Immortals for a big hit, and Night Howlers in the graveyard could finish off Mike.
He's also putting Abner in a situation where he needs to Wrath now. Like, it's incremental damage, but at the same time, like, I feel like he's putting him in a situation where he needs to Wrath. He doesn't mind being Wrath either, because that'll turn on some other stuff in his deck.
I mean, mana's still a bottleneck, especially once you start going down the Whip of Erebos road.
Yeah, for sure. Island to play here for Abner. That's his 5th land. Let's see what his play's going to be. Not doing much right now. Just a Divination and a Dissolve cast so far for Mike.
Looked like he was just about to peel forth another copy of Divination here. Looks like he's going with Detention Sphere instead.
Pretty yucky one, taking care of 2 Seder Wayfinders. Not very impressive at all. I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, but
it's not noble work.
Drew another copy of Seder Wayfinder. The problem here for Bowman is he just doesn't have like a really good action card right now. None of his payoffs are here.
Well, Whip is potentially a big payoff for him.
Yeah, there's potential of that. So land's going to go to the grip. Herald of Torment, Elvish Mystic, and the Overrun are going to go to the graveyard. How do we like Herald of Torment in this deck?
It seems a little out of place to me. It's another good thing to, it's good to bestow on certain things. You put it on Night Howler, and that's good. It's really good on Lotleth Troll as well, but it has not struck me as very good in the games I've watched thus far.
Whip of Erebos is going to come in here. So you guys wondering at home, Brian Bronduin did play this round and he won. So coming into this round, he was in 11th place. Not sure if he's going to be able to jump people. We'll see what happens.
certainly locking himself into top 16 at the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that the points are that meaningful for him right now, but.
Looks like the whip is in. And that's the big one. Now he gets to start bringing back things like Night Howlers and Nemesis Immortals and all that fun stuff. So.
And is Mike comfortable tapping out for Elspeth here? He has the option to do so.
Whip in this deck feels like a really, really good one of.
Yep, and Adam has one in the main deck and one in the sideboard, which is about what I would expect.
It seems like an awesome one of for this deck. D-Sphere is going to come in, probably to take care of Whip, honestly.
Yeah, that's threatening is a lot of damage.
Bowman's going to untap still. I mean, this is the opportunity where if he draws like a Night Howler, looks like he just drew a Nemesis, but it looks like if he draws Night Howler, he just gets to punch you in the face for so much damage.
Or if he has Golgari Charm to blow up the sphere.
Yeah. I actually think he does have that. So he could go Charm, blow up your sphere, activate Whip, get back my Night Howler, hit you.
That's a really good turn.
Yeah, that turn's awesome. It seems like every turn that I watch this deck, you just see something new, like a new line of play. It's like, okay, this turn's awesome.
It's like peeling back an onion.
There's
a lot of layers.
There's just something awesome that just happens every time. Yeah, 8 creatures in the bin right now. We're just going to see a more simple play here. Just attack, play Nemesis of Mortals, it looks like, and pass the turn with the ability, after Overgrown Tomb comes to play tap, to 1, Blood Rush the Nemesis, but 2, have the ability to regenerate with Golgari Charm.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Another sweet turn.
Another thing to keep in mind, too, Golgari Charm is, like, completely absurd right now.
Yes.
It's really, really good. The regeneration part of it is great. Killing an enchantment is obviously great. The -1/-1's not going to come up a ton, but when the -1/-1 is good, it's insane.
It's your best. That mode is your best sideboard card in about 5% of the matches you're going to play in the tournament.
Yeah.
You're going to run into one random mono red or white weenie guy or whatever, or mono black aggro, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Here comes Elspeth. Is that going to tick down or up? It's going to tick up.
And even this risks. Now, this is the type of spot where Herald of Torment's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really want to do a Charm, if anything. Because like, now is the time where you probably have to use Charm. You just have to figure out how. Because like, he could take care of a Sphere. He could -1/-1 and then Blood Rush the Nemesis. Like there, but the -1/-1 kills the soldiers, but it also kills the Satyr Wayfinder.
I mean,
and the Elvish Mystic. So
at this point, we're just gonna do it like this.
Yeah, he can just clear up everything right now.
I think there's even an argument for blowing up the detention sphere that has the two Wayfinders under it, because milling for 8, finding Gerard or finding the Rot Farm skeleton, and trying to get that going is potentially good here as well. So
more creatures going to go in the graveyard. Those are going to bite the dust now. We got a 10/10 Nemesis out there. Again, we're in a situation where if he draws Night Howler, it's game. That Commune, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's a lot of looks.
We're going to try to find it. Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 4, 5. Rot Farm skeleton.
Not quite Night Howler here, but not shabby.
Could be a situation where he doesn't take anything. Yeah. I think I may have wanted to take a land versus not taking one.
Yeah, sure. With Gerard in the deck, it seems like you can never have quite enough mana.
Yeah. Because you want to be able to always be able to open yourself up to be able to deal, to be able to play and activate Gerard for 7.
Right.
Hit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rot Farm Skeleton going to come back into play. See Nemesis Mortals turned over there. Bowman cardless right now. So this puts the pressure on Abner again to have a Supreme Verdict, which he does have in his hand now.
Well, it's Supreme Verdict plus other stuff because the skeleton's still a factor here.
Yeah. There is the verdict.
Yeah, I'm curious not using the detention sphere that turn on the skeleton, because letting Adam mill for 4 it's not free. I mean,
and there's Gerard. You mentioned it is definitely not free. Again, it wouldn't surprise me either if you're Abner, just some unfamiliarity about what's going on the other side of the table, because the deck isn't that popular yet.
Right.
I think that's going to change in the coming weeks. There are definitely some great players who would probably want to get their hands on this strategy. You see Gerard in the bin now. Bowman actually having to count his deck now, too. He's been turning over quite a few cards. Oh, my apologies. Can't take a land with Commune. That's my fault. Creature enchantment, not land. Thinking of Grizzly Salvage there.
So the sphere does take care of the skeleton.
Yeah, not too surprising there. Here's 4 mana. Gonna get back Gerard, sacrifice the lands, and then cast it. See if this resolves. This is dissolve. Not a bad dissolve target, not great, but.
He has to answer this card because it is lethal, so, or close to it.
It just is an attacker. It's gigantic. Of course, it can't throw itself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the trick. But it is very large.
Yeah, I guess it's probably better to save your dissolve, to Tetris for this, and then save your dissolve for something that is actually gone forever once you counter it.
Yeah. Night Howler, I think, is the card you're thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus 13, plus 13 for the Gerard. You see the D-sphere there in Abner's hand. You see Abner's going to tap some mana here. Looks like he's going to do what it takes to get that Gerard off the table because he needs to. That's the 4th D-sphere. So no more of those to worry about for Bowman as he's going to draw a card. It's just a forest.
And I think Abner's about to take over here.
Yep, that's what it feels like. You can feel it.
He has Dissolve at the ready. He has a Sphinx's Revelation.
Mm-hmm. Next turn will probably be one of those turns where he hopes to draw a land, just to play a land with all the mana up. And try to resolve a big rev. Let's see what he draws. Just copy Debtor's Pulpit, which is actually pretty good too. Debtor's Pulpit does a really nice job of just blanking a card like Night Howler at this point.
It's a great insurance policy.
4. There's the Rot Farm Skeleton.
Boom. You thought you'd answered it, but...
I do like that card as something useful against Revelation strategies.
The second one feels excessive to me.
Yeah, I think 1 is really good.
Yeah.
See Revelation here. Gonna draw Abner a bunch of cards, and he's starting to take over the game now. As Michael draw an Essence Scatter among everything else he's found for this turn. I'm gonna start by playing a Plains.
Debtor's Pulpit plus counter spells, so he can answer the skeleton if he's feeling so inclined with the pulpit, and also counter anything that Adam happens to draw on his turn.
But sitting at a comfortable 19, he can take a hit or two.
Yep.
From that skeleton. Giving a lot of praise to the black-green dredge deck. I'm a big fan of the one-ofs in this blue control deck. Pulpit, for example, a card that we saw a lot in block, but it's just a really, really good card in this deck.
It's a card that's very easy to draw too many of once you start having a second copy, but the first one is pretty high upside and covers the blue-white deck from a lot of scenarios where it typically struggles. Sometimes something like a Blood Baron will sneak in, you randomly can't answer it, Mistcutter Hydra, Stormbreath Dragon. Once it's in play, it's just there, giving you a ton of protection.
Yeah. So we saw Gerard get taken care of by Essence Scatter. Jace's going to come in now. Going to turn over a couple of cards. Supreme Verdict, a Mutavault, and a Sphinx's Revelation.
And Mike's just looking for a way to wrap this up at this point.
Pretty much. Elspeth, Aetherling, anything to get the job done.
His hand really can't get much better here, so it's just...
It's hard to, that's for sure. You see Abner just going to pass the turn back over to Bowman. With just a lone Rot Farm Skeleton in play, Pulpit closing the door on actually a lot of outs in this situation.
Yeah. Night Howler no longer functional.
Yeah.
Herald of Torment, whatever the case may be.
And I don't think Gerard, yeah, here's Night Howler's actually going to be a cast that's going to get dissolved. Not too surprising there. Top card's going to go to the bottom here for Abner.
And Bowman's, in fact, at some risk of getting decked this game.
It's a very real thing. Jay's going to check up here for Mike. Just play land, pass the turn back. Bowman going to take a draw here. Pulpit going to take care of the skeleton. There's Nemesis Immortals. And that's going to get dissolved as well. Abner refusing to allow Bowman to cobble anything together.
Yeah. He's signed into a lot of counter spells here post-board.
See if that's going to hurt him in this third game, because I think we're removing that Wayne just a little bit here. Gerard going to try to come into play. That's going to get dissolved as well. See Bowman going to take a look. How many counter spells do you have? 4 dissolves? Okay.
We got to be drawing something off those revelations.
Yeah. Abner going to untap. He's going to take a draw here. Again, just looking for a win condition at this point. Syncopate. Not you. Jace, you're ticking up past the turn back.
Syncopate's still not a bad draw here. Anything that Bowman tries to resolve that is significant.
Yeah, I guess Bowman, even though we're this deep in the game, he doesn't need mana. Yeah. He's got 4 lands in play.
Keeps acting to Gerard, so.
Yeah. Here's Commune. 2, 3, 4, 5. You see Gerard, Latrell, Grizzly Salvage, a Forest, and a Night Howler. Night Howler, the card that's going to go to the grip here for Adam. Rest is going to go to the bin. Millie even more likely at this point.
Yep, it's 5 more cards down.
There's Night Howler. Could see a Syncopate here. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sold that Syncopating is even necessary here, but I can certainly see a reason to do it.
Yeah, at this point, you're just trying to figure out what are the sequence of cards that Adam can get into play to win the game from here, and then just play around that stuff accordingly.
There's a Rev. This will probably find our win condition, you have to imagine. Between that and maybe a Jace minus.
I'm not even convinced he needs to do anything other than just protect himself.
Yeah.
You're looking at 5 cards.
Like 5 cards, yeah.
Can't even get back the Rot Farm skeleton, you know?
Up we go. There's Supreme Verdict. Don't tell Adam what he can and cannot do with Rot Farm skeleton.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to have one last hurrah.
It's his skeleton. He'll do what he wants with it.
I get it, you know, you want to have one last party. Get the band back together one last time.
Oh, no. Adam, you have to. Don't do it.
Yeah, I like it.
He's going to pick up those last 4 cards.
Don't go out like that.
Yeah, and he'll pick up his graveyard as well. We're going to move to the third one here between Bowman and Abner.
Another demonstration of the diminishing returns of Rot Farm Skeleton. The second one not doing a lot of work.
Just need one. Just need one. That's all. Game 3 between these 2 players going to take place in just a little bit here. Again, kidding aside, it looks like there are some top 8 implications on the line here. Again, if Mike Abner does win this match, there is a very real chance that he makes top 8. No guarantee, but we'll see what happens. Adam Bowman trying to play the role of spoiler with his black-green dredge deck.
Well, you know, a lot of this depends on what matches are actually getting played right now, which is information hopefully we can get in from the floor as those matches start to turn in. Because if Mike loses this match, then the players in 8th place above, they're all X and 1. They can all just draw in. But the risk of Mike winning this match may cause certain matches to play out, and then that potentially opens the door for Adam to win this match and sneak into the top 8.
We're going to see how it breaks down here. One final game here in our Swiss rounds. Again, we're looking at the potential of a top 8 that involves Jeff Hooglin, Andrew Tenjum, Dan Musser, Mike Bellafato, and Eric Rill.
And there's a lot of X and 2s. Right now, we have Adam Bowman on camera right now. He's in 10th place. Going into the round, the last X and 2 goes all the way down to 37th.
Pretty insane.
Pretty deep.
About 15 minutes to go here in this match. I do know that after this match, we will have Jeff Hoogland's deck tech for you guys as well. A lot of people have been asking about his junk, I was going to say junk reanimator, but it's just junk mid-range deck that he's played this weekend to an 8-0-2 record in the Swiss.
People love brewers, and then when the brew is actually good, then people are really excited about it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there are some things that Jeff will try here, because this is obviously the first version of the deck, but I love the skeleton thus far.
For sure.
Really, really do.
I love both skeletons, the skeleton of Jeff's deck and the Rot Farm skeleton in the sideboard of Adam Bowman's dredge deck.
Roddy Dotty. I wouldn't mind bringing back a Rot Farm skeleton.
I think just one will do. The second one is just...
Yeah, one's cool.
Yeah,
One's
I'm down
cool.
with one. I'm going to work on the sideboard and get to the point where we can fit in 4 Thoughtseize / Duress effects that we can bring in these matchups.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Really good in this matchup, and it seems like just other matchups too.
Because it feels like all these games, Adam was able to take away one piece. You know, the blue-white decks, it always feels like every card they have matters. If you could just get one piece out of there, I feel like the matchup would feel really good to me.
I think it's just all about kind of crafting a game plan. Right now, it just seems like he's kind of a good stuff deck, and he's just trying to do, it's not really clear what he's trying to do after sideboard.
Graveyard value and grind.
Yeah.
Feels like that's kind of the plan here. That's not a bad plan. But
I mean, it's definitely a plan that can work. I just want it to be much more focused on, like, I'm looking for these cards to do these things to get the job done.
The problem with the grind and drag kind of plan is Sphinx's Revelation is really good against that sort of thing. And when you have no discard spells to fight over Sphinx's Revelation, then the game will often come down to that.
Sylvan Character going to show up here for Bowman on turn number 2. We're underway in game 3. Abner going to play an island after that Temple of Enlightenment. Pass the turn back over to Bowman. This is a forest. Let's see what the follow-up's going to be. You see Herald Torment over there as well as a Night Howler. There's a Commune. So we see a Sylvan Carrier to the Temple, a Grizzly Salvage, another Commune, and then Nemesis of Mortals are the cards that are turned over here.
I don't know if he can really use any more mana here, so perhaps I'm mistaken
I
here.
go with the Caryatid because it is a creature, and if Wrath does happen, you're okay with that.
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, Adam's been bottlenecked on mana in plenty of games.
Yeah. See a forest to draw here. Might be skeleton time.
Oh. I think he could have busted out that bad boy last turn, but didn't want it to get hit by Syncopate.
Boom.
Boom.
Rot Farm skeleton. Plant skeleton, by the way.
Essence Scatter, did you read it? Yeah. It's coming back.
That's one for the good guys.
Yep.
Here's a divination.
Yeah, Mike just trying to get himself a little breathing space here so he can fire off this divination.
Gonna play the Plains before passing the turn back over to Bowman, who will take a draw.
It is still just pretty funny to me.
Counter it, bring it back.
Did you read this?
It can't stop, and it won't stop.
Yeah.
There's a Nemesis. This is a Temple. In just a moment, there it is. Time to scry. It's not great. Definitely got some work to do.
This is a gutsy line if there is no Golgari Charm in his hand.
Doesn't look like there is. Looks like the hand is Herald Torment.
But this is such a strong representation of Supreme Verdict that maybe Mike is not even willing to cast it.
It is like pretty loud, where he's just saying, I have Supreme Verdict, I have Golgari Charm. I would not cast that. There's a D-Sphere.
This is a fine hedge, too, because if Adam has a Golgari Charm, you find out, and then Supreme Verdict takes care of everything after the fact.
Bring back the Skullo.
Boom.
Gonna mill over 2 swamps, a forest, and a Night Howler. You see Bowman's hand. He does have, again, a Herald of Torment, a Night Howler, and a Gerard.
Trying to set up the combo.
Yep. 2-3, and there's a Herald. So moving in and hoping the opponent doesn't have a verdict right now is what Bowman looks like he's doing.
Although this is not necessarily bad. Again, Adam has a recurring threat he can keep bringing back. He can get back that skeleton at a moment's notice. And with the Night Howler in hand, if Mike gets sloppy, then Adam can win the game that way. This still feels like a rough turn, though, for Adam.
Lost a lot of stuff. There's a pithing needle. Oh, Scullo.
Oh.
Down.
Never mind. This all got much harder.
Bowman going to take a draw here. Picked up a copy of Golgari Charm. Not bad, actually. Gonna just play a Gerard, however. How big are you? Probably pretty big. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gonna be an 8-8 right now.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Sizable.
Pass turn back over to Abner. Jace is the draw. He's probably just gonna trade 1-for-1 with Verdict. You gotta be pretty happy with that exchange. Pass the turn back. Is repping Dissolve right now, though.
Yeah. Just trying to wear him out. Eventually you land some big card drawer. Jace most likely here. Take the game over from there.
Looks like the Night Howler in the grip. Looks like Bowman's a little bit scared to deploy it. It's his last threat.
Yeah, he really needs it to stick.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Dissolve's going to take care of that little scry action here. Abner's going to leave that card on top very, very quickly. And I think there's the revelation.
And I think some of that hesitation would have been a no-brainer for Adam if he had another black source of mana, so he could have at least followed up that Night Howler with a Golgari Charm on something. But that was his whole turn, and now this opening is happening for Mike.
Jace taking down Elspeth's the card that's going to go to the grip here. There's an attack with Mutavault. Bowman's going to go down to 18. See, Adam draws his card for the turn. Still has the charm. You see he's got the creatures in the graveyard. The Rotfarm Skeleton can't come back because that Pithing Needle. Just a forest for him. The charm obviously has the ability to take care of that Detention Sphere and get back the Nemesis Immortals on Abner's end step. We'll see if that's what happens. You can see Adam is basically all out of gas here.
Yeah, and the signs are pretty clear that Adam has Golgari Charm in his hand, and Mike's probably aware of this because why did he not get back Gerard this turn? It's probably the card that's left over.
There's the 3 soldier tokens. Gerard is down there in the graveyard, I think. Yeah.
Although this does open the door for Nemesis Immortals.
Oh, the door's very open right now.
This is a dangerous tap out here for Mike.
Yeah, the door is incredibly open. That's going to die. He can Monstrosity right now as well. So that's a 10-10.
And there's a Gerard in the graveyard. There's a little something going on now.
Yeah. Definitely the potential to have something happen here out of basically nowhere.
This is where Adam could really use Brawn. This would be a really good spot.
It always comes back to old Brawn.
This would be a really good spot for Brawn.
How about Rancor? Can we at least mention a real card?
Well, but that's a spell you have to draw.
That's true. Yeah.
Brawn plus the Rotfarm Skeleton, that's all self-contained.
Yep. You can see the chump block there with the Elspeth Soldier token. Sacrifice the forest in the swamp, gonna get back Gerard. The ability to deal a bunch of damage is now there.
It's a little something. I mean,
it's better than nothing.
I'm sure Mike is a little less comfortable with where his spot was than he was last turn.
Yeah. That's one of the things I actually like about this deck is, while it may not come and work this game and get the job done, the fact that the deck has the ability to just go out of nowhere like 10U.
And it's really hard to play. Even though removal and counterspells work against this deck, they work to varying degrees. You're looking at Gerard and Rotfarm Skeleton. That's hard to answer through counterspells. The Detention Spheres and such are a little dubious because there's Golgari Charms. So the deck is weirdly robust to removal in some spots.
You saw Elspeth tick down, so Abner just go down to 10.
You're not trying to get too fancy here. He's got enough pressure in play with Elspeth and the Mutavaults to win this game. Just don't let something weird happen.
A lot of things to like about this deck. There's a swamp. It's like they're just going to get back, probably just going to get back Gerard now.
Robert Peterson, please report your registration. Robert Peterson.
Yep, that's going to come back. Here's a revelation. It's going to be for 4. Abner's going to go up to 14. 4 cards coming.
And really, all Abner's looking for is something like Detention Sphere to seal this one up.
Yeah, pretty much. Another Revelation's not so bad either.
Neither is Syncopate.
Yeah. Azorius Charm actually pretty good. Looks like he's found the tools he's looking for. He's going to start by taking Elspeth up to 3. Soldier Token's going to come on in. See what he wants to do with Jace here in a little bit. There's an island for the land.
Again, Mike in a commanding position, but just try not to get sloppy here.
That's the only thing that's important right now. I think he's got all the tools to win the game. Has both the Planeswalkers in play. I think he's got everything he needs. Just make sure that you don't get kind of mised out of the game somehow.
Yep. With Syncopate and Azorius Charm, he's got a lot of insurance against something weird happening.
He could even play just really defensively and work his way towards Elspeth. Just things like that. Just want to make sure you get it right, that's all.
Yep.
Especially when you have essentially top 8 on the line here. Just going to pass the turn back. 2 mana. This might be Nemesis. No, it's going to be Sylvan Caryatid. Much worse than Nemesis.
Yeah.
Pass the turn back.
Not going to see a fight from Mike over that.
No, no, no. Might see a Rev here, maybe not, though.
I'm fine with revving here. I know it's most likely that Mike's going to have to discard, but the upside of finding a Detention Sphere here is so high in my mind.
Opted not to Rev. He's going to attack here for 5. See if Gerard actually wants to block or not.
It's one of those things, is he attacking me for free because he doesn't care about losing the token, or is Azorius Charm or Celestial Flare something that's going to happen?
Yeah. So no block with Gerard. He's just going to play a Plains. Going to take Elspeth up to 4. Will Abner. Jace, you're going up 2. Pass that turn back. We might actually see the old Azorius Key Rune come to the red zone soon.
Oh, soon. Oh, yeah. It's waiting patiently.
Whew. Potential for Mutavaults as well. You see 2 out there for Abner. Abner just does pass the turn back. So here we're going to throw this.
Sure.
Not getting much better, that's for sure. There's a Temple for Bowman. Take a look at the top card. Looks like it was Nemesis Mortals. Looks like he kept it very quickly.
It's one of the better draws he has from here.
Yeah. Maybe not, though. Puts it on the bottom.
Maybe he's just Night Howler or bust. Or I guess the actual out he's theoretically looking for is Herald of Torment. If Mike has nothing, then you can give your Gerard Flying and win the game that way. But we know that Mike has that covered with 5 different cards in his hand.
Now we see the minus of Elspeth plus this large attack for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. More than 10 is the amount of damage.
Yeah.
And that is going to do it. Mike Abner going to win this match over Adam Bowman. 2 games to 1. Blue-white control able to dispatch Dredge one more time. And with any luck for Mr. Abner, he'll be able to make it in. Again,